With the dramatic race 2 out of the way, tension was building for the championship deciding race 3. Stig was out of contention due to his spin from the previous race, so it left Chris and Paul to decide the 2009 winner. But other factors were at play. The weather was closing in, and the thought of race wets was certainly crossing a few drivers' minds. The cars headed out on the track for the last time in 2009. The starting order was based on the finishing results of race 1, so leading the various classes were Chris Barry, John Moyes and Stig Richards in Class A, Scott Matthews and Michael McCosker in Class B, and Paul Barnes, Glenn Caltino and Mike Barry in Class C. As 11-degree temperatures and a 40-knot southerly blew in, the green light lit up and the cars were off. John Moyes and Chris Barry led them off side by side into Turn 2, with David Grant, Stig Richards and Scott Matthews with an excellent start. But it was right here in 5th position where things went horribly wrong. It started with John Moyes going wide under brakes into Turn 2 and out onto the dirt. A dab of power too much, and John had rejoined the track 50 metres along, spinning clockwise into the path of Ivan, with a hapless Michael McCosker only a metre to the rear colliding with Ivan. I was tracking Ivan at the time, and you can clearly see the full hit, but once again the PRBs have proven their strength and safety. The incident drew an immediate red flag as paramedics rushed to the scene. All drivers fortunately came through okay though. However, John was taken by the paramedics for a full checkover. The cars lined up on the dummy grid whilst the accident was cleared. Paul Barnes had to withdraw due to reasons beyond his control, leaving the championship open for Chris Barry. It also left the grid 4 cars short and a trim field of 8 lined up for the restart. Chris Barry led from the start, ahead of Stig Richards and David Grant. Scott Matthews again making a good start to be in touch with the Class A cars. Then 4 Class C cars led by Mike Barry and Glenn Caltino, with Stefan going a little wide into Turn 2 and dropping back into last place. Chris Barry now had a good buffer over Stig, who was fighting to keep old foe David Grant away from 2nd position, while Scott Matthews was well into his own space and driving some clean lines to secure 1st place in Class B. In Class C, the race was on, with Mike Barry and Glenn Caltino swapping the lead several times, with Daniel Bando and Stefan Versluis still within a second of them. But on lap 7, Stefan took them all by surprise onto the main straight, dragging them into Turn 1 and into the lead. He put the medal down and maintained a good buffer until the finish, winning Class C in front of Mike Barry, holding out Glenn Caltino and Daniel Bando, who I'm sure was glad to finish without any more damage. Out in front, Chris Barry took the win, and with it the outright championship for 2009. Commiserations for Stig, who finished 2nd, holding out David Grant in 3rd place. Scott Matthews drove a great solo race to win Class B for the weekend and the year, and it showed us all again what a talent he is behind the wheel of a PRB.
I got a reasonable start, but John was probably half a car length ahead of me into Turn 1, but I had the inside line, so I thought we'd run around together, and then John disappeared, and he seemed to have been clobbered with somebody else or fell off the track with somebody else, so I don't know what happened there.
There's an incident on the start. I saw the beginning of the incident, which was John Moyes going off. And then I went past him and my race sort of commenced, but I think something transpired afterwards. There was a red flag.
I had a big tussle with Stig, but he got me. So I've loved the series, and hopefully the series prospers. I'm sure it will.
Anyone in particular you'd like to thank?
Thank everybody involved, all the competitors, PRB Australia, Peter Bladwell, Mike and Chris and everyone's been helpful. It's been fabulous.
For the restart, I got a pretty good start. Stig with me for about the first half lap, and then tyres settled down. I was able to get stuck into it, so I just drove hard to keep the rhythm up, but not hard enough that I was taking any risks, and managed to come in with a good win. So I'm pleased with that, and I think that might have signed up the championship.
So congratulations.
So thank you. Yeah,
2009 PRB champion.
Overall, fantastic season. Chris, a worthy champion. I should probably point out that while I might have given him a good run for his money, the truth is I probably wouldn't have got to the starting grid a lot of times if it wasn't for Chris's help. So even if I had been lucky enough to beat him, I think it would have been partly due to his own sporting nature. And so while I might be disappointed not to be champion, I think Chris thoroughly deserves it, not just for his own driving in his own car, but the assistance he gives to everyone else. So yeah, well done, Chris. Thanks, mate.
This year, big thanks to PRB. Pete did a lot of work to get my car back on the track after it had the accident, and I think the ongoing support for all the guys in the series from Pete's workshop. So big plus for the series.
We started late in the season, but we started toward the end of the season. We did well. It's been great coming back at the end of the season, meeting all the new guys, and it's been good racing with Michael and all the other guys as well. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, and the whole the support that PRB gives.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, well organised. Come to the track, there's never a problem. There's always someone to ask and give you a hand. Yeah. So overall, it was a great day and been a great series.
You'll be back again next year?
Be back again next year, yeah.
See you then,
for sure.
Thanks
Thank you.
a lot, Scott. See you later.
Another good season for the PRB Motorsport Series. It's been quite interesting this year, like previous years. The actual championships come down to the last race, and it's actually been between people of different classes. So I think it shows that we've got a points system that seems to even things out fair across the different classes. I think keeps all the guys quite. It gives them something to chase through the year because they know that they can actually have a chance at the championship. So I think it's a good season. Next season, we've got a few drivers who are moving on to other categories, so it'd be good to actually have those cars end up in the hands of some either our existing drivers to step up or some new drivers.
Next season I'll be back, same car, so I don't quite know whether I'll be better and stronger, but I'll be back, and fingers crossed I'll go one better.
So again, the Australian PRB Championship comes down to the final race of the season. Congratulations to Chris Barry, emerging victor on 204 points, with Paul Barnes on 201, followed by Stig Richards on 197. Class winners this year were Chris Barry in Class A, Scott Matthews in Class B, and Paul Barnes in Class C. The driver of the round went to Glenn Cautino, whom despite using a standard gearbox and a narrow track, was able to mix it with the other Class C cars, whilst breaking some personal bests along the way. Thanks to everyone involved in the PRB movement, who again produced an outstanding year of motorsport in 2009, and we look forward to another great year in 2010. Until then, it's goodbye from the Australian PRB Motorsport Championship at Wakefield Park.